that spring is approaching Michigan, so I'm getting the metal detecting bug. I've been metal detecting ever since I was about 8 years old. When I was a kid, there was this old guy at my school, my grade school, and I saw him out in the schoolyard with this thing swinging around, right? Well, I went up there and started bugging him, and he was like, hey, check this out. And I discovered that money comes out of the ground, right? And it still does if you're into the metal detecting sport. But this year, instead of running my old vintage White's 5900, I decided, well, I'm going to upgrade, I think, and I bought a MXT All Pro to try out. So reading the forums, I see a lot of you guys are asking about the frequency of your metal detector, right? So the new MXT is advertised that it's at 14 kilohertz, whereas my old 5900 was somewhere around 6.3 kilohertz. And you'll see that all metal detectors advertise this frequency that they're on and say this is the magic frequency, but how do you really know what frequency your detector is operating at? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to check it. Here's our test setup to measure the frequency and amplitude coming off of search coils of common metal detectors. My main instrument is the HP3562A signal analyzer. Up here I have a little Watsu scope that we're teeing the signal into so we can look at the sine wave, see the purity of that. My probe, if you follow the coax around, comes here to my table, and I have a 2.5 millihenry coil. So when I put the search coil over it, the frequency will induce into that little coil and we'll see it on the instruments. So first detector that we're going to test is a White's 5900 Di Professional Coin Master Series, one of the Cadillacs of the day. So for the test, I'm simply going to put the search coil on top of my coil, and we're going to adjust it back and forth for maximum amplitude, and we'll take a look at the analyzer. Here we go, the initial test of the White's 5900 metal detector. Sorry about the fan noise in the background. The HP is a little noisy. Now here's a metal detector, and I'm going to take the dish and go over that coil that I'm using to test, right? Now if you look at the scope, you see no signal at all while I'm doing that. That's because I don't have the metal detector on. So I just turned it on. You hear the volume, but you don't need the volume up for this test because it has nothing to do with the amplitude of the signal that you're seeing on the scope. So I'm going to move the dish back and forth. Now watch the scope signal. See how it's peaking and dipping? Peak. We want to set that for the peak amplitude. So there it is. Get it set in place. And we're ready to test. So that is the actual sine wave that my little coil is seeing, and that's going into the scope. And the spectrum analyzer down here is also looking at the frequency plus the amplitude coming off the coil. So now let's zoom in on this screen and take a look at the center frequency that the dish is putting out. It's supposed to be at 6.59 kilohertz. That's what they advertise. Now let's see if it really is by adjusting the signal analyzer. Alright, so I've killed the lights. So hopefully you can see this display. My center frequency, 6.59 kilohertz. Alright, now you can see that the peak signal is over to the right. It should be in the center because that is the center frequency. So it's not exactly on 6.59 kilohertz. So now I'm going to move the center frequency with my magic knob. It takes it a second for it to update. We're still not there. I'm going to keep cranking it over. Looks like I'm going the wrong way. Let's see. No, I'm just not turning it enough. So I'm at 6.591. You can see we're getting closer. Keep going over here until we get it in the center. So there's 6.592 kilohertz. Getting real close. I'm going to set it right at 6.593. It looks like it's about right there. So there's the center frequency. We're at 6.59296. So we'll just call it 6.593 kilohertz. Okay? Now this amplitude is really meaningless because I have not calibrated the height of the dish for the dB levels that we're seeing. But if you really wanted to get scientific about it, you could do that, and you could actually do power measurements on the output of your search coil. So if you had a detector that came in, the guy said, man, this thing's weak, I can only pick things up about 2 inches underground, you could check that output amplitude as compared to known good units. Alright, so for the fun of it, we'll kill this one, and I have another 5900. Alright, so let's do a little A-B comparison and see how this one acts. Same deal. Turn it on, turn the volume down. Put him on the old test bed. I'm going to tweak this in for maximum amplitude. We're going to take a look at that center frequency. Alright, so same deal. Adjust the dish for maximum amplitude so that we get a decent signal to the spectrum analyzer. Now let's zoom in on that screen and see what the frequency is. Alright, so here's this one. Now you can see that my center frequency is shifted a little bit to the left. So there is a difference in the frequency. So I'm going to tweak this little guy. Try to put him right in the center. So you got to remember, the oscillator that feeds this coil is a little transmitter. So to have proper frequency stabilization, they're using a crystal. And all crystals have a tolerance. And that's what we're seeing here. This little bit of frequency difference will make no effect on your metal detecting. Alright, it's still in the range, and she'll still work great as all the old vintage whites did. Alright, now this one is at 6.59284 kilohertz or so. I could probably tweak that in a little bit more, but you get the general idea. Alright, so you don't need a sophisticated HP analyzer to look at the output of your metal detector. You could actually do the same test using a handheld frequency counter. Put yourself a little coil in the place of the antenna, and a lot of frequency counters had a little bar graph display. So you could take that little guy and move him around, get maximum amplitude, and you'd be able to read the frequency. And there it is. Now let's move on to another White's machine, this time the MXT All Pro. So here it is, new in the shop, the new White's MXT All Pro. I've been admiring these machines, and I'm really hoping that it can outperform my old 5900. So first I want to see what the output of this machine looks like as compared to the 5900s. Then I'm going to take this thing out and do a field test, of course, and see how well it does on coins. Now the MXT All Pro has this new 10-inch double D search coil, but as you can see, it will react the same as the old style White's heads do, right? So there's a peak, and the peaks appear to be on the outside edge of the coil, and that makes sense because that's where the coils are, right? So as you go away from the actual coil itself, the amplitude is going to drop, which it does. It should come back up, and it does. There's some interaction there, but either way, I've got a good signal. So I'm going to lever about right there. Now, as you can see, there's no signal on the spectrum analyzer. And the reason is because we had a center frequency of about 6.59 kilohertz, whereas the MXT is up around 14 kilohertz. So let's readjust that instrument and find the signal. So real quick, I'm going to scan up in frequency, and you should see that signal coming on the screen. Looks like the tuning on this is way too fine, so I'm going to reset the center frequency. We'll say to 14 kilohertz. Right now our center frequency is 14 kilohertz, and you can see we're kind of shy of that. Alright, so same deal. Let's kind of creep up on it and find out where it's really at. So there's about 14.1. You can see I'm going the wrong way. So it must be under 14 kilohertz. Once again, the tolerance of whatever crystal they used. Not a big deal. Okay, we're getting closer. A little closer. I'm at about 13.9. Getting really close now. Right there. Looks pretty darn good. Let's see if I can narrow my span down a little bit, because my bandwidth is, well, was 2 kilohertz. There's 800 hertz. Okay, there's 700. You always got to give this thing a little bit of time to update. There's 400 hertz. And if you take this the span itself and narrow that down, it helps you to really dial in on the center frequency if it's that important to you. Okay, so there's 100 hertz. Okay, alright, so we can go back to the center frequency. As you can see, we're a little shy of it now. Do a little tweak, another little tweak. Am I going the wrong way? I don't think so. It's just taking its sweet time. Oh, overshot it. So right now I'm at 3.88. Almost on it. I'm going to set it right at 3.89. Oh, there it is right there. So 13.889 is the center frequency off of the White's MXT All Pro. And once again, this amplitude means nothing because I have not calibrated the head over distance to know if it really does mean something. But if I started having problems with this detector, I could easily set this back up the way it is and see if the power output has dropped. Naturally, your power output is also going to drop if you're using weak batteries, right? So try to keep fresh batteries in, because those batteries deliver the current to this coil to give you that output. Alright, so there you go. It appears as though the frequencies that the manufacturers are stating that these machines operate at is true, right? I just wish I had more detectors to test and verify it. However, this is good information, and now you can see some methods in which you can use to see if your metal detector is actually outputting the correct frequency. And if you want to do some scientific type calculations, you could actually see if your power level is staying constant over time. I plan on doing some more videos on the White's metal detectors because they are my favorites. And next, I'm going to take the 5900 and the MXT out in the field, find some targets, and see if both those machines can do the same job. Hopefully the MXT outperforms my 5900, but I found that over the years I keep going back to that 5900. It's my favorite. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you again. Terry here, D-Lab.